Welcome to Cover Havoc number 2. This is my second attempt at the trial of January 6th because I missed Days of Our Lives today. The only reason I deleted the video was because at one point at the video, I was trying to say I send warnings, not invitations. But what I said was I send invitations, not warnings. No, I do not invite people to come and attempt to kick my ass. I do warn people, do not come all the way across the country, across the city, across the state, across the universe to come kick my ass, because what you got in your head don't match what I got in mine. And 9 times out of 10, we ain't gonna know who gonna win until the fucking first plunge connects. Alright? So that's why I deleted that video. Now, I started talking about Mike Pence, I started talking about Trump supporters, I started talking about how I have friends who possibly support Trump. Am I still their friends? Yes, I am. Do we question their moral compasses? Yes, I do. Do they question mine? I'm sure they do. But let me explain it, because I also said that I voted for Hillary twice, and that between Biden and Trump, I initially was voting for Elizabeth Warren, and Biden was like the farthest on my list. But somehow or another, he made the hellacious comeback, outlasting Elizabeth Warren, outlasting Bernie Sanders, outlasting um, Andrew Yang, and outlasting Pete Buttigieg. Which I've always said, if Elizabeth Warren would have been in, she has 4% native DNA, which natives probably would have eventually got around to being happy that they finally got the one thing that would make history: a person who has indigenous blood as a president, because that's something we've never had. Or if Andrew Yang would have got in there, I know that a lot of Chinese people and Asians in general would have been happy because it would have been the first Chinese American president. If freaking Pete Buttigieg, if PDP would have got in, a lot of the alphabet community would have been happy because it would have been the first openly gay president in the United States of America. And not only that, the world would have fucking been shocked. But this video isn't about them. This video is about the January 6th trials, alright? And if you haven't been watching them, I also said that if you are a Trump supporter or whatever, this is the part of the video that you should stop at, because I said, look at how quickly he was to convince everybody to hang his vice president. And I sit there and I thought to myself, if the Trumpers don't wake up right now and realize this man doesn't give a flying fuck about none of y'all, I'm pretty sure all those people who broke in January 6th with bad intentions are probably rethinking this shit now, because they still have hope that he's going to somehow save them. He's going to save his own skin first, and he probably won't be able to save anybody. And my only question to y'all, is it worth it? I also touched on the fact that a veteran went against all things that we were taught in the military and decided to be there, and she was unalived, which is not cool. Okay? Now, you're up to speed on everything that I deleted in the first video. So now we will continue. I got to thinking about that shit when they stormed the thing, and it's been on all TVs today. I didn't get to watch Days of Our Lives, so that didn't help my day at all, because I really like watching Days of Our Lives. But anyway, the fact that this man told all of his followers to hang his right hand man, y'all gotta let that sit in for a minute. I mean, y'all literally have to let that sit in. This is a man that we voted for, because y'all are the ones that voted for him, and the guy who backed him didn't cheat, didn't want to steal the election, as they say. And all of the people who followed Trump, they followed Pence until that day. On that day, Pence was number one with a bullet in the bullseye, and everybody had it out for Pence and his family. I can almost guarantee Mike Pence will probably not be voting for Trump anytime soon, because, you know, he damn sure didn't try to save Pence while he was telling everybody, you know, stop the steal, stop the steal. So, Mike Pence, if you get this, respect to you, because that's a brave thing you done. But if I was you, I would also consider that the guy you helped get into office wanted you to be deceased. So you may want to consider your running mates the next time around, because this dude stabbed you slam in the back. Now, let me recap before everybody comes at me about why I do not like Trump. All right? First thing, I'm part Native. And if you are part Native and you support Trump, there's something wrong with your moral compass. All right? Let me break it down for you. 1993, California, casinos. They don't look like natives to me. Why does this natives not have to pay taxes, but I do? Well, first and foremost, when he said that, you guys can go find the video, interpret it what you will. It's a long video. If you watch the whole thing, he says that like twice, and some other white dude shuts him down. But the fact of the matter is that the natives that do have casinos are federally recognized, and the money that they make goes back to the casino as well as the tribes. Okay? So, also remember, we stole way too much from the natives to force them to have to worry about paying taxes. Alright? They don't even get to control their own police force most of the time. Right? And that's just the American tribes. God only knows what's going on with the First Nations, because they are getting fucked every which way you turn if you've been paying attention to native TikTok. The natives in Canada are getting it with the red hot poker, but no Vaseline. Matched a little bit of gasoline. Got that from Ice Cube. But yeah, they are getting it. Up north, the natives are getting it. Let's not get into MMIW. We can make a whole separate video about that, but not tonight. The second thing, the Central Park 5. Me and those guys are roughly the same age. I can't picture myself losing this much of my life for having allegedly raped a woman, going to prison for some shit that I didn't even do, getting cleared by DNA, and at the time the current president can't even say, I'm sorry for wishing death on me when I was a fucking kid. Now, y'all probably seen some of my videos. I have defended two Trumps. Two of them. Tiffany Trump and Barrett Trump. Because personally, I think your children should be off limits. Tiffany had an issue. Nobody in Hollywood wanted to hang with her because Trump's her daddy. Alright? That's not her fault. She's probably nothing like this dude. But that's still not her fault. No. But everybody came after her. Then everybody came after Barrett, who was like, 12 at the time? Y'all leave the kids alone. No kid should have to pay for their parent. Alright? And those are the only two Trumps I defended. I could care two shits about Donald J. Trump Jr. And I can care two shits about Ivanka. Because if you've been watching the trials, she also kind of threw her daddy under the bus. Which is karma and not for getting an address. Alright? Now, other than that, other than Tiffany and Barrett, you won't ever hear me defending the Trumps. And Tiffany's almost 18, so she's probably like 21 now. So she can fend for herself. But she still shouldn't have to pay for how someone personally feels about Trump. Especially how I personally feel about Trump. Now, number 3 on why I don't like Trump. Standing Rock goes all the way back to native shit. Trump don't like natives. And guess what? For those who want to build a wall, Mexicans, biologically Mexicans, are natives too. So if you are a native and you support building that wall and blocking out our native relatives, you suck and you should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, I said it. There is a congressman or a woman who is indigenous running something Vega. That's specifically for you. Vega at its heart, I believe, is actually a Spanish or an indigenous Mexican name. I could be wrong. I don't have a problem being wrong. But she's also part indigenous. So she may be an agent, which will be my last video. I will talk about agents amongst the natives. That's my last video. Now, fine, don't forget that I said that. I'm probably going to have to come back and watch this video. But when Standing Rock happened, Obama was still the president. Natives had talked to Trump, and he swore that if he became the president, Standing Rock wouldn't be touched. There would be no pipeline going through Siouxland. He lied. Obama protected him well, not him, protected the Sioux Indians on the last day of his presidency. He wrote into decree that Standing Rock would be protected. All right? Y'all can go watch it. He wrote into decree. He made it a law. You cannot touch Standing Rock. First day in office, Donald Trump signs over the decree, wiping out Obama's decree, saying that they're going to come through Standing Rock. And not too long before that, he goes after Navajo code talkers and give them medals. Or maybe not too long after. I got my timeline mixed up. But either way, he goes and the first damn thing he does is he starts picking on Elizabeth Warren, calling her Pocahontas. So y'all can't say he's not racist. Understand that shit. The man is fucking racist. Y'all might think that he's a bigot. Just how thin you think that line is. Just how thin do you think that line is? So then let's talk about how, and this is why I say if you're Native or if you're Asian and you support this dude, your morals are fucked up. Or you're a pick-me. For those who don't know what a pick-me is, a pick-me is, please pick me, please pick me. I will do what you want me to do, please pick me. Well, guess what? I'm a pick-me too. So when Hollywood finally picks me to play a character, I'll have a job. Anyway, if you are Native, and if you are Asian, and you support this man, let's not forget Standing Rock. Let's not forget when the pandemic broke out. The Kung Flu virus, the Chinese virus, and some other stuff that he said was getting around. And let's not forget the almighty time that he looked that Chinese reporter in the face and said, "Why don't you ask China?" And she held her ground. I salute her. She held her fucking ground and asked him, "Why did you say that to me?" And then thank God for her white friend who gave her time. Said, "Yeah, why did you ask my friend?" Now, that was a nasty question. I don't answer nasty questions. It wasn't a nasty question. It was an honest question. Why did you say that to her? Because you're a dick. No, because you're a racist dick. I understand that shit. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, before that he became the president, he said slick shit a lot. Slick shit that we all let slide. Slick shit that even we let slide when he shaved off Vince McMahon's hair. Okay? But some of the shit I let slide because I was only a fan of Vince McMahon. Then when I did my research, like, I remember him saying the shit about the Central Park 5. I had to find the shit in 1993 about the natives. That took some work. I remember him saying it, but I don't remember him saying it because after the Central Park 5 and OJ, the world was wide open to people just doing whatever the fuck they want. But when he became the president, no Asian person was safe. At all. Not at all. You can do stats if you want on how many Asians got attacked after the pandemic versus before the pandemic. He literally made it okay for everybody to be opened up and racist. Literally. And everybody grabbed the bull by the horns and they started that shit. But nobody that's a Trump supporter wants to recognize that shit. So I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. I know a lot of people are probably going to leave my group again, and that door is always open. But I want you to ask yourself, does Echo have a point? Because I do. And the point is, now that the trials are starting, this man's going to walk. I'll be a monkey's uncle if he gets through this trial and gets locked up. And I got a feeling that ain't going to happen. I got a feeling that whatever strings he has on whoever strings he has, they're going to let this man walk. They're going to let this man walk. If he doesn't walk, he's sold his soul to the devil. Because, it's highly impossible. Because, instigators don't get as much time, depending on the crime, than the people who actually commit the crime. Alright? Now, I say that reluctantly because, on the flip side, aiding and abetting, if you don't squeal, you don't get the deal. Alright? Think about how that's put together. First who squeals gets the deal. Who's going to snitch on who? Who's going to turn over state's evidence? Yeah. Everybody watched the video when he said I would go down there and say something, and the next damn thing you know, there was a fucking riot. But he was having a rally all the way down there. So he has a rock solid alibi. And here's where the legal ramifications come in. I could tell you all day that I'm going to go shoot someone. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I can tell you all day that I'm going to go slash a tire. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I can give you said person and said thing. Now, if something happens to that person because somebody decided they wanted to be an overzealous fan of Echo and target somebody that I named, you know, that technically isn't my fault. That legally is also not my fault because that person would be classified as a fanatic with mental health issues. But if I'm doing a broadcast, I am legally not responsible for your actions, which is why this man will probably walk, because he is not legally responsible for their actions. He could have incited the riot, but I guess we can copy a line from the X-Men Inferno saga. Sinister struck the match. Madeline Pryor threw it. Let me make sure y'all understand where I got this reference. This is the X-Men. This is the Inferno saga. So, we're not going to read through all that. But this here is a dreamscape that Madeline is in. Y'all can't see it from that far away. But she was in a dream. Alright, so she comes out. The portal. God opened the portal. Alright. So she's back. Wow. Stuff's falling. This guy stabbed her. Turned her evil. Y'all see that? He turned her evil. Alright, just don't worry. I'm still on topic. You're just going to have to figure out where I'm going with that. So, she came back. Alright? This guy also had a hand in it. But, Sinister is the one who started all the shit to begin with. By the time I find this motherfucker, video be done stopped. 1 second. Alright, these guys kidnapped her child. The hero that will one day become Cable. I just literally saw the page. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Okay. See where it says Ignite the Inferno? So again, to prove my point, Sinister was the guy in the corner, Madeline holding havoc. So he ignited the fire. She threw the match. So roughly saying, former president, he lit the match. He didn't throw it. He lit the match. So he was not responsible physically for the actions of the dude who thought he was Thor, or the veteran who got shot and lost her life, or the other people. Alright? He didn't physically tell them to go down there and do that shit. And they're gonna swing that shit on so many different directions, and all those idiots that went down there to stop the steal are responsible for their own actions. A good lawyer will probably swing that in Donald Trump's favor so that he doesn't watch. If a good lawyer's watching, I just gave him the case right there, so I'm sorry, y'all. Because, no one is truly responsible for someone else's actions, even when they are radicalized The radicalization person, you have to catch them. Then you have to prove that they actually radicalize somebody to actually commit the fucking crime. Just so y'all don't think that I'm crazy. You know, what I'm going to school for. You know, police science, criminal justice. I understand there are loopholes. I understand I learned that rule from Chris Jericho, the king of loopholes. Shout out to Chris Jericho. And the thing is, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And when you have money and you have power and when you have people in your back pocket, there's always a way to slide out of the back door without anybody noticing. Keep that in mind while you're coming at me in the comments. Because I'm going to be pissed off. But I got a gut feeling that Donald's going to walk. I'm sorry, but he's going to walk. And that's not cool, but it is what it is. That being said, I'm Echo Fang Grey Wolf. I don't want to discuss this thing anymore because it sickens me because I miss days of our lives that I got to deal with this crap instead of them just howling off and going to Donald Trump's house, kicking the door in and saying, "You're under arrest, let's go." No, everybody who was involved are going to be on trial until they can turn state evidence against this dude. And by the time they figure all that shit out, I just gave the guy the case with all the fucking loopholes about responsibility and shit, because just because you made the suggestion doesn't mean you were responsible for the dummy that went out and did the suggestion. And there's not a whole much they can do about it unless, like I said, accessory to murder. Because accessory to murder, sometimes the person that did the accessory or helping the murderer escape or whatever get more time than the goddamn murderer, because that's just the way the system works. That being said, I'm Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Be seeing ya.